Good morning, and it is morning. It's 1:11 a.m. Um, and I know that it's Friday, and this is going to be Friday's video, and I'm going to do one with Aristo in 6 hours or so, and it will be tomorrow's video. I contacted Aristo on Wednesday night. I sent him an email. I tried contacting him yesterday. I was unable to get through to him. Perhaps he was not at the internet cafe. Uh, but I've made a decision that I want my videos to be going up around 4 a.m. or earlier, pretty much every day, my time, Eastern time, New York time. And I'm going to start recording my videos pretty much the day before most of the time, and just scheduling the time that it goes online on YouTube, and then hopefully I will remember to put it up on Facebook. I forgot for a number of hours yesterday to put it up on Facebook. It was up on YouTube for I think 4 hours or so before it went up on Facebook. Anyway, I'm making that change, and there's a few reasons why I want to do it that way. One of them is by by recording them ahead of time and scheduling the time that they go up online, I might actually be able to take some days off once in a while by doing a couple of videos or something like that in one day. I mean, I've been doing a video every day for a long time, and it would be nice once in a while to be able to just get some time where I don't have to do a video each and every day, uh, but yet I want to have a video put up each and every day for you. So anyway, that's the change that I'm doing, and I'm expecting to, as I said, uh, do a video with Aristo today, but it will go up as Saturday's, not Friday's video. And I do expect, as I said, to be making that a pattern, recording the day before, so that you don't have to wait on some of these videos that I do, the conversations. You don't have to wait a long time for it to go up. The title for today's video, which I actually selected last night before I began to have computer problems and was unable to get on the internet for a while. It was a strange evening last night. I don't know why, and I ended up falling asleep fairly early because I couldn't get on the internet. Some of the things that I normally do I couldn't do. But anyway, I selected this title yesterday, uh, and it's a question. Why are we paying psychopaths to govern us? And the blurb that I wrote, which again I wrote it last night, was that question came in a comment on my video from Wednesday. It was called The Big Question. Indeed, who scraped the bottom of the barrel to find these people that hold high offices in our governments and other major institutions? There is almost no one in high levels with integrity. Russia Today carried a news story about Edward Snowden entitled U.S. Unchained Itself from Constitution, and I do provide the link to that video. Here, ironically, it was noted that Russia, in granting him asylum, actually followed international law, which the U.S. government is blatantly violating as it prosecutes or attempts to prosecute those who are telling the truth. Only psychopaths fear truth. And it is people like this that seem to be at the helm of the most important positions in the world. As I said in yesterday's video, it's time to stop making excuses for criminal behavior. It's time to rein in these very sick people who need major psychological and spiritual help. May God help us. As some of you know, if you've been paying attention, today is the 11th of October, the day when the truckers' convoys go into Washington, D.C. to challenge the nation to go back to the Constitution. And that is not an antiquated piece of paper, as or as a goddamn piece of paper, as George Bush called it. It is not an antiquated document. It is a document that recognizes the unalienable rights by giving us a Bill of Rights to protect our freedoms that are natural freedoms. The United States, which has been billing itself for a long time as the champion of freedom, is probably the biggest enemy of freedom on the planet because psychopaths have taken over. Whether it's the Council on Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commission, the Bilderberg Group, the Illuminati, the Jesuits. Somebody sent me, I don't know if I probably can't find it because I didn't think that I was going to use that. So anyway, somebody sent me a thing and said, dear, and it listed a whole bunch of these organizations, some of which I just named, and it says, or who was ever controlling our government, please tell us what's going on. It's confusing, or something like that. I don't remember exactly how it was. But indeed, it is confusing because psychopaths, literally, people that are insane, literally, have been running the world. Whether it's the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers or the Bushes or the Queen of England or whoever, these people are insane. Just as we are each insane when we forget who we are and we don't recognize that we're connected to all of life. And we think that we have to control life by killing things that we don't like and by controlling people that we don't want to speak out. Well, this is the way we find our country in the United States today, and we are the biggest terrorist nation on the planet. We are the worst nation ever to have existed because here's what we do. We're not blatant about it. We're covert about it. It's getting blatant in some areas, but it's mostly still covert, which is even the greater deception. It pretends to be good while doing evil. This is a psychopathic behavior. This is an insanity that we have to deal with because these are the people that become presidents and senators and congressmen and CEOs of multinational corporations and head of media corporations and head of pharmaceutical corporations. These are people that are hell-bent on reducing the world's population. They are eugenicists. They follow a eugenicist philosophy of we've got to kill a lot of people and we've got to make people sick so that we can make money and so that we can reduce the world's population so that we can be in charge and in control. It's the ego gone crazy. And it's psychopathic, it's sociopathic, it's criminal because it's crimes against humanity. It's crimes against human dignity and human rights. And we have to admit, this is the world that we live in. Now, as I said, the truckers plan to go in. Now, there's rumors, and I don't know if they're true or not, that Obama and the White House and the government have ordered the Beltway around Washington, D.C. to be shut down today. That will really bring Washington, D.C. to a halt. I mean, 495 goes all the way around the whole city. And it's a huge, huge highway. I've driven it myself. I've driven all around Washington, D.C. I've been on, I think, virtually every part of the Beltway at some point or another in my life. And it's, I don't know, I think it's sometimes 6 lanes of traffic in one direction. So that means a 12-lane highway. I mean, I could be wrong there, but it's a big highway. And they're planning on putting National Guard in there and closing it down. And one of the congresswoman from Texas yesterday said we're in martial law. And everybody knows what that means. We can bring a bill through quickly because there's such a thing as continuity of government. We don't need our government, folks. The government is a psychopathic institution. That's why I refer to Washington, D.C. as the District of Criminals. These are people that have violated the Constitution. These are people that have violated the rule of law. These are people who think they are above the law. These are people who think they are disconnected from the rest of human society. These are people who think they can get away with murder or all sorts of of violent aggression against its own people. These are people, Obama has said, I've got two words for you: predator drones. For those that think that you can just do whatever you want. We have the right to freedom of speech. Glenn Beck gave an impassioned speech that someone shared on my Facebook wall yesterday. My friend Todd shared it. Excellent speech. The first part of it, and I didn't like so much the last part of it, the last couple of minutes of it, when he starts saying it's a progressive idea. Then he was putting this polarization in it. It has nothing to do with progressive or conservative or liberal or anything. It has to do with the rule of law. It has to do with following guidelines that protect human rights, which all of the institutions claim to do, and then because they are run by psychopaths, don't follow through. Which is why I like people like the Swiss Indo people and Mr. Sino, who seem to have a heart for the people and want to do what the institutions were supposed to have done all along, and that is to bring peace on earth. That was what the United Nations was founded for, supposedly. But it was co-opted, like the U.S. Republic was co-opted in 1871 by the corporations. And they were attempting the co-opting of it long before that. From the very beginning of the United States history, there were bankers in Europe, Rothschild bankers, trying to co-opt and control the United States of America, which, if we had allowed it to be a republic, would have liberated the world by now. It would have liberated in the 20th century. But again, psychopathic people that are insane and want to control everything and want to make money on everything and want to make it all a commercial venture and want to keep the whole human population enslaved to the debt cycle. The United States doesn't have to borrow money from anyone. Neither does any other country have to borrow money. This is debt slavery. This puts human beings in a slave capacity on the planet that we were born on and supposed to be free on. It is a violation of human rights. It is a crime against humanity. And it's the psychopaths that have brought this to us. Martial law? We've been under martial law for a freaking long time. And we didn't even know it because it's been a covert martial law. Our courts are not courts. They are military installations and banks. They play both roles. They play a military role of forcing people against their will to contract and to enter into contracts that they are not telling the people that they're entering into. It's all done covertly. It's all done using fraud and deception and coercion, and sometimes very openly so. This is the reality of the world in which we find ourselves. Whether you want to face it or not, and you're probably, if you don't want to face it, chances are you're not listening, but sooner or later you're going to listen anyway, because the truth cannot be stopped. The lights cannot be turned out. They are coming on. And so many people that I talk to, so many people that I interact with, express over time. I'm not saying in any one given period of time I'm getting a lot of people that are talking about fear, but I get people throughout the whole time I've been doing these videos that are afraid of change, that are afraid of the psychopaths, and are afraid of all the arming that our government's doing, and all the fear mongering that's going on and propagated by people like Alex Jones and many others that propagate what the government's doing. And they're not lying. I want you to understand, they're not lying. The government really does buy all these hollow point bullets and really does have all these predator drones, as Obama threatens us with, and the coffins and all of the other martial law things where they're in the FEMA camps. These are not fictitious things. These are real things. And it makes people afraid, and it makes people act irrationally because our leaders are irrational, because our leaders are not people of the heart. They're not people of love. They're not people of compassion. They are people who are sick and need our help and need our prayers. And somehow, we need to spiritually bind these that whatever it is that makes these people go off the deep end and think that they have the right to control others instead of working cooperatively, it's constantly a state of competition. And it's insane. And yet this is the very attitude of people that have risen to so-called power. But the power still lies in the people. Government still has to respond, and people need to be willing more than ever before to speak out and to speak up and to stand up for the truth and to declare no more. As I said in the video yesterday, it's time to stop making excuses for criminal behavior. And the psychopaths are criminals. These are people who think nothing of abusing someone, of even murdering someone. Nothing. I mean, Clinton's left a whole trail of dead people in their wake throughout from the time that they were Clinton was the governor of Arkansas. I mean, a record. And the Bushes, the Bush family, I mean, has been a notoriously evil family for a long, long, long time. These are psychopathic individuals that rise to power in the United States, but it's not just the United States. It's through Africa and Asia and Europe and South America and Australia. People that are the most sick run the system. We've put the inmates that should be the patients in the asylum. We let them run the asylum. Something is really wrong with this picture, and we need to make serious corrections, because we can take the earth back. We can take this planet back for the people, because it's ours. It's ours by birthright. And I'm asking you once again to please pray with all of your heart and soul, to please reach out to whatever you call the higher part of yourself or of creation, whether you want to call it God or some other word. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to whoever that creator is. There is a creator. We did not just accidentally show up here. There's a plan, there's a meaning, there's a purpose. And we need to take back control of our individual lives for ourselves and learn to cooperate with each other and to love each other and to show respect and to grant each other the dignity that is ours by birthright. We deserve it. And even the psychopaths that govern us, we need to hold them up in prayer that somehow, some way, they will peacefully surrender control of the institutions of our world and allow the people that want to help and the people that have a heart for truth to be in positions of authority to help lead humanity to the higher calling and the higher manifestation of what is possible, and bringing peace on earth and and creating a world that works for everyone. I do thank you for listening, and I remind you that Aristo, I expect to connect with him today and expect to create a video, and it will go up as tomorrow's video, but this is the video for Friday, the 11th of October. Thank you for listening, and namaste.